name is Devan son of Iswaran and my ID is DEM05200077 from batch 21. Today I am going to present about the history and background of CPM. The Communist Party of Malaysia (CPM) is a Marxist-Leninist and anti-imperialist political party founded in 1930. It is responsible for establishing the People's Army against Japan, Malaysia, and Malaysian armies. National Liberation Army, the party led resistance efforts against the Japanese occupation of Malaysia during World War II. They waged the War of National Liberation against the British Empire during the Malaysia state of emergency. After British colonial forces left the Federation of Malaysia, the party engaged in a third guerrilla campaign against the Malaysian government with the aim of creating a socialized state, before surrendering and dissolving in the country, possible in 1989. In April 1930, the Communist Party of South China Sea was dissolved and replaced by Communist Party of Malaysia, while its primary responsibility was Malaysia and Singapore. The party was also active in Thailand and the Dutch East Indies, the latter of which did not have its own Communist Party. On April 29, 1930, a Singapore special branch raided on an empty house at 24 Nazim Road in Singapore nearly ended the MCP when 8 of its original founding members were arrested before imprisoned or deported to China in June 9. In June 1931, after a letter from Kuomintang was intercepted by the police, about 6 raids were carried out between June and December. Several party members are arrested and documents seized, causing the party to become chaotic. Information from the letter said that up to this point, there were 1,500 members and 10,000 angry. Anti-Japanese sentiment among the Chinese in Malaysia provided the party with excellent opportunity to recruit members and raise funds under the banner of defeating China. By mid-1939, it claimed to have about 40,000 members, of which about half were in Singapore. The MCP is governed by a Central Executive Committee of 12-15 members. About 6 of them have been appointed to the party governing body when the CEC is now sessions. Each state has a central cantonal executive committee and is then divided into several districts. The smallest organization and unit is the cell, which members from an agency or village. Occasionally, large party conquers the health. The MCP is governed by a Central Executive Committee of 12 to 15 members. About 6 of them have been appointed to the PATRD, the Patrol Governing Body when the CEC is not census. Each state has a Central Cantonal Executive Committee and is then divided into several districts. A smaller organization unit in the cell, which usually consists of party members for an emergency or village. Occasionally, large part conquerors had the Japanese garrison withdrew from the countryside, leaving a power vacuum that was filled by MPAJA. The British organized the power of MPAJA, paying their soldiers for the role in the war. On September 12, the British military junta moved to Kuala Lumpur. Later that year, the MPAJA function agreed to disband before a question in March 1947. Lightek failed the country with country funds. The party stance became more firmly anti-British. In the mid-1960s, the US State Department estimated the party membership around 2,000 to 4,449, commute security somewhere over 500. Continue exists on the neither side of the high border. This was closed in 1981 at the request of Deng Xiaoping. Also in 1969, in the wake of Vietnam War and the Cultural Revolution in China, the party intensely armed struggle. Jinping later denied an involvement and distanced his accused teammates. In 1989, CPM finally landed on his hand.
Hi sir, I'm Tibagar Kanyappa from batch 21. My ID number is DEM04223. Now I'm going to present about the overview of the CPM leaders. It was a responsibility of the creation of both the Malayan People's Anti-Japanese Army and the Malayan National Liberation Army. Japanese conquered Malaya has received the support of children, forcing the people to build the death train in Thailand. The communities in Malay established Nayang Communist Party was banned in 1930, have led to the dissolution of the military agreement, giving it the appearance and placement of weapons. The three-star communities they began to take up arms, and a series of attacks took place. Malaya achieved independence on August 31, and the new communities settlement on the border had allowed them to gather and
So have a nice day. My name is Vanita Kesavan, ID DEM052040-21. Today I will talk about some important event of CPN guerrilla activities. Communist action is although the emergency law enforced in the world of Malaya. The communists continue their activities, threaten the security and stability of the country to ensure success in their struggle. The communists caused chaos across the country so that the people lost confidence in the British. They took various actions to cripple the economy, damage infrastructure, and threaten the safety of residents and security forces. Firstly, communism cripples the economy. Since the emergency law came into force, tin mines and rubber plantations have been the main target of communist attack to weaken the British economy. From 1948 to 1956, the communists attacked 80 ore mines, including in Perak, Selangor, and Negeri Sembilan. They damaged rubber trees, estate factories, smoke houses, share houses, shops, and schools, as well as killing workers. This communist action caused the workers of the mine and rubber plantation to suffer. In addition to disrupting daily work in mines and farms, their lives are also in danger. Next, communists destroy infrastructure. The communists carry out various activities of sabotage against basic facilities, especially the transportation and communication system. They bombed and damaged and divided railroad tracks. Vehicles passing through the road were shot and set on fire. The communists also sabotaged telephone and telegraph facilities and damaged water pipes. Next, they attacked civil servants assigned to repair roads, install water pipes, build irrigation system, and workers conducting research at hydroelectric campsites. This situation affects the daily life of the local as the infrastructure cannot be properly maintained. Last but not least, communists threatened people's security. The communists committed various violent acts that threatened the safety of the people. They threaten, sabotage, attack, commit atrocities, prosecute, kidnap, seize, burn property, and kill residents who refuse to cooperate. For example, on the night of July 5, 1949, communists threw grenades at Swan Circus at Kampapera. As a result, a total of 46 people were seriously injured and 4 died. This communist action caused misery and suffering to the people. Lastly, communists threatened security forces. The Malaya Communist Party targeted security forces and attacked police stations. This action was done to provoke chaos and show the inability of the government to protect the safety of the population. Thank you. Hi sir, have a nice day. My name is Vanita Kesavan, ID DEM052040-21. Today I will talk about there are 6 PTRM categories and 3 category ASKA involved in fight against Community Party Malaysia. In PTRM are Special Branch Police, Special Constable, Forest Police, Women Police, Senior Pra and Auxiliary Police involved. First of all, I would like to explain about PTRM category, that is Special Branch Police. In August 1950, Guy C. Mender was appointed. He set up a special branch which later became part of the police force. The intelligent work performed by this team allows the authorities know about the Community Party Malaysia operations. They were team members disguised as communists to get information about the Community Party Malaysia. The British also took many members of the special branch in among the Chinese to trace communist members to its hiding place. As a spy agency, this special branch contributed during the period. The government of this branch made infiltration into the Community Party Malaysia organization to facilitate the security forces to plan action against the Community Party Malaysia. Next, Special Constable, the team was formed in 1948. when the BRICS plan was being implemented. A total of 24,000 special constables were trained and sent to guard the farms and mini implement. They were at the forefront in facing the communist threat. Then Forest Police. Originally, this team was known as the Flying Squad. In 1951, the team was renamed Jungle Squad and later Jungle Company. Subsequently, in 1953, the force was recognized and renamed the Police Field Force. On October 18, 1958, the police force became known as the Team Forest Police. Among their duties included hunting down communists, patrolling the edge of the forest, bringing food supplies to the team on duty in the forest, and guarding the fort as a jungle fort. After that, policewomen were established in August 1955. Barbara Dr. Wernwood was the first female police officer. She was tasked with training new members and organizing the women police force. Last but not least, Senoi Prak as a warrior. The Senoi Prak team was formed in 1956. Senoi Prak in the Semai language is known as Urung Perang. They were tasked with locating the place, communist hideouts in the woods. Its members consist of tribal orang asli Senoi, Semai and Temuan. They are better known as the Silent Killers. Lastly, Auxiliary Police. In December 1948, there were 70,000 members of Auxiliary Police AP in the Federation of Malaya. They defended towns and villages from communist attack. They helped the police counter the communist threat. In 1956, auxiliary police members were made the Police Voluntary Reserve. The next is 3MAF category fighting in the Community Party Malaysia is ASKA. The force was formed in 1933. The task of this force was to eradicate guerrillas communists in the woods. At the same time, government equipping the army with artillery and other relief forces. Many regiments also be enlarged for 3 to 7 regiments. The team achieving an outstanding performance in the fight against the communists. They not only success in defeating the communists, even destroy communist operating camp. Next, Commonwealth troops. The government brought in Commonwealth troops from Britain, Australia, New Zealand, India, East Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Rhodesia, and Fiji. In 1954, there were 25,000 British soldiers, 10,000 of Gurkha soldiers, a battalion of African troops, and a battalion of the regiment stationed in Malaya, Fiji. This army also helped in fight against communism in our country. Lastly, Sarawak Rangers. This team consists of Iban people. Their job is to track down communist hideout in woods. They are skilled in the interstices of the jungle. Its motto Agi Idop Agi Gleban, which means as long as you live, as long as you fight. Many communist camps and bases were successfully destroyed by this force. Thank you.
Good morning to my dear beloved sir. My name is Joanna Preeti Narayanasamy. My ID number is DEM04200017. Today I would like to present about the lesson we have been learned from CPM. CPM has affected our nation in many ways. We should learn something from this instead of ignoring or forget the past in order to not to repeat the same mistake again. The first lesson that we have learned from CPM is racial unity. By creating racial unity, social harmony with similar aspiration can be achieved. When racial unity is practiced by Malaysian, economy suffering is not happen as every race compete fairly without the sense of envy. Besides this, Malaysian people also learn to accept every races and religions in Malaysia. Malaysians are able to maintain religious tolerance and harmonies because they are reasons or factors supporting Christian, Hindu, Muslim and Buddhist in Malaysia. Finally, we have learned if the country want to see big difference in economic growth or social issues. Every privilege offer should be fair across the board. Malaysia is a ethically heterogeneous country which has 10 fastest growing economic country in 1970 to 1990. That's all from me, sir. Thank you very much for watching my video and thank you for your time. Thank you, sir. Stay safe, stay happy.
Hello and good evening, sir. I'm delighted to speaking with you today. Let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Charlie, daughter of Ravi. ID number is 062010 and I'm delighted to be here today to talk about recommendation to prevent CPM from come back to Malaysia. The formal announcement of the end of the emergency is 1960 marked the physical end of the communist challenge. Not less, the battle against the MCPs remains was far from done. The shift is goals from armed to non-armed. The MCP's attempt to promote communist ideology complicates the issue. Indeed, propaganda aimed to undermining the constitutions which was established in the first place. The Malays were given special status and political advantage began to upset the system. Malaysia is a newly independent country. Between 1960 and 1969, the MCP, which operated the isolation religion along the Malaysia-Thai border, increased their power to the point that Jinping was estimated to have gathered as many as 2,000 fighters. The MCP quietly launched Shockbreeders tiny group that marched south along the peninsula, trying not only to take the isolation police installations and security force jungle patrols but only reignited support for the party via propaganda. In this regard, the late Prime Minister and Minister of Defence Tun Abdul Razak bin Hussein remarked the primary job of the military forces is to fight the communists, but they should also help implement the government strategic plan. This is part of the anti-communist campaign. Defense and development, anti-integrability link. The idea was further involved by the NSC into what is known as Keselamatan dan Pembangunan. Kesban is Malay acronym for security and development, and it was extended to cover strategy and policy in the border state sense. The Kesban was founded on the idea all persons decide to live a complete life. The NSC focused to numerous elements including physical security, a stable society, group participations, social and economic fairness, and individual accomplishment. When incorporating this into its policy to fight the communists, the government implement different programs. In short, nearly very intensive conduct by the British and Malaysian as part of their counter-insurgency campaign was huge success. This campaign was successful in persuading the Chinese to support the government while rejecting communist influence. Meanwhile, near the border, security troops launched Operation Quota to restrict communist entry and depart routes. Despite in fact that it took 41 years, the Malaya emergency to represent not only one of the earliest counterinsurgency achievements, but they contribute to the breakdown of the communist organization. And I would like to end my presentation until here. Thank you for listening my presentation, and I really enjoy speaking with you, sir. And I hope this season has been very useful.
Hi, I'm Lutra Devi Malaysia. My ID number is DEM052017. So batch number is batch 21. So it was a group assignment. My part is summary of Malayan Communists. The Malayan Communist Party, officially known as the Communist Party of Malaya, was a Marxist-Leninist and anti-imperialist political party founded in 1930. It was responsible for the creation of both of the Malayan People's Anti-Japanese Army and the Malayan National Liberation Army. The party led resistance efforts against the Japanese occupation of Malaya during Second World War and later fought a war of national liberation against the British Empire during the Malayan Emergency. After the departure of British colonial forces from the Federation of Malaya, the party fought in the Third Guerrilla Campaign against the Malayan government in an attempt to create a socialist state before surrendering and dissolving in 1989. Thank you.